right, Matthew. It's now time for one of the most anticipated segments of the year here on Tap and Step.
I got 5 text messages about it.
Okay.
I didn't, but...
That's good because you're going to have to come up with one for each text message. It's time to talk sleepers.
All right.
That's right. Sleepers. Teams that you're not thinking about that we think are going to be impactful in Texas high school ball. And it's hard to define a sleeper because it's more like it's a vibe type thing. But I've tried to put some parameters on it. And so here's how I would describe a sleeper. That is a team that won 8 or fewer games last year. Okay. So if you say North Crowley, stop. They're not a sleeper. Okay. 8 or fewer games wins last year. And again, it's hard to say what exactly would constitute them being successful, but you think they're going to be a team that could play around Thanksgiving.
Sure.
Right? That'll be third round of the playoffs. That's what we're saying. So a team that we think could play around Thanksgiving. Obviously, some draws are easier than others.
Sure.
So you might.
We don't know. We're guessing.
Yeah,
but
we're guessing here. So I've got. Well, I don't know how you went. I have one for each 11-man classification.
I've got a couple, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right.
There's 2 in one classification I really like, so we'll see.
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
I'll give you.
I'm going to start with the number 1 sleeper in the state of Texas.
North Crowley.
Yes. Ray Gates. What are you going to do this year? No.
That would be so good.
I wrote an article about this team a couple weeks ago, which you can see on TexasFootball.com. This team was 0-10 last year, and I think they have a chance to play on Thanksgiving. It's the San Marcos Rattlers. I mean, and you're like, how in the hell? They are, and I think the article, they are the most interesting Texas high school football team of 2025. And this is because of a UIL ruling a couple of years ago. They had several players that had moved in simultaneously as freshmen that did not live in their attendance zone. The UIL ruled they had transferred for athletic purposes and suspended them for 3 years.
It was kind of a blanket ruling over it was as close to like a death penalty as the UIL can hand out.
Yes, and it's been. I mean, San Marcos they've lost 21 games in a row. They have won 1 football game since that ruling in October of 2022. And let me tell you, they've been waiting. John Wall's been waiting to get these guys ready. They're going to be a really interesting team. That they have a lot of talent. They got at least 5 or 6 guys with Power 4 offers. They've got a really good young quarterback that people are going to hear about. They're talented across the board, and they've got some young guys that were eligible that I think are going to kind of fill in the gaps around them. So I think San Marcos, I've got them second in district behind Steele, but we're going to find out early about. They have Weiss and Lake Travis in non-district. This is a team that I think could really make some noise that people are going to look at and be like, well, how are they this good? Well. Yeah. Got a bunch of kids eligible that weren't eligible, so San Marcos is my number 1 sleeper.
Okay.
To me, they're a no-brainer. They were 0-10 last year.
Yeah, that feels like pretty good. All right. I'm going to go small classification to large classification. We're starting 2A. A team that went 7-5 last year. I think they got better as the season went on, although they have a new coach. Matt Stepp, I'm buying in on the Dillion Bearcats. Okay? 7-5 last year. New coach Brandon Whitaker takes over this program and inherits a team pretty loaded with talent. 17 starters back from last year's team, including a quarterback that, this is true, I was putting together the 2A preview for the magazine, and I just got online, and there's one kid I kind of like, I was like, that's interesting. I don't know if I've ever watched this tape. Heston Jobe, their quarterback, stud. It might be a here's a guy for Carter Yates. Okay. This guy is a stud. Heston Jobe he's going to be a 4-year starter for them. Okay, he's going to be, I think, a rock for them. They're going to be good up front with guys like Eli Garza. I think when you take a look at Dillion, I think they've got an opportunity to be really dangerous. Remember, this is the team that came in second to Hamilton.
Yeah,
Hamilton. And again, we're talking about Region 2 of 2A Division 1, right? The most wide open region in all of Texas high school football.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, why not Dillion? I think the Bearcats have a chance to really make some noise.
We're going to find out about Dillion in non-district. All right. Week 2 at Stanford. Week 4 at home against Hawley. Week 5 at Munster.
Yeah.
We'll know. We will know about Dillion real quick.
Well, no. I think they've got a chance to really, really make some noise. I like Dillion a lot. Okay. All right, give me your second sleeper.
The team that I saw Friday at the Sci-Fair SQT and qualified for the state 7-on-7 tournament. Have you heard the good news about the Cy Lakes Spartans?
Oh!
Tyrone Carter enters his second season at the helm, and this is a team that Cy Lakes has never made the playoffs in school history. Ever.
They're pretty young. To be clear, they haven't been around for like 100 years.
No, they haven't been around 100 years. Maybe 20, maybe 20 years, but never made the playoffs. I think their best season might have been 5. They may have had 1 6-4 year. They missed the playoffs. They were 4-6 last year in Carter's first year, and they got better and better as the year went along. 15 starters back, 30 lettermen, 6-4 JV, so a competitive JV with 15 starters. They qualified for the state 7-on-7 tournament, and they looked the part. They beat Cy Falls in the qualifying game, and just eyeball test, you're like, okay, Cy Lakes has never had kids look like this before. They got some dudes, Courtney Lewis, Amiri Barnes, Deshaun Butler. Deshaun Butler is a unit. Jimmy Alarcon at quarterback, veteran quarterback. This is a team. Tyrone Carter's got them believing they can win. Now, 16-6A is brutal.
It is.
It is a deep. I talked about Waller as a sleeper. There's 2 sleepers in this district, Waller and Cy Lakes.
Yeah.
You still got Bridgeland. You still got Ranch.
Yeah, I think it's actually because it's split. Cy-Fair ISD is kind of split over the course of 2 districts and 2 regions, 16, 17. I think 16 might be the dirty, 16 the dirty side of it.
It's tough. I mean, you got Bridgeland, Ranch, Cy Springs, Paris Melvin, Cy Woods, Jeremy Hickman, new head coach. You got Cy Lakes, Waller, Langham Creek. It's a really
it's a tough
really good.
There are going to be 2 to 3 good teams that miss the playoffs.
If Cy Lakes can get into the playoffs, though, watch out for them. I like the Spartans. I think Tyrone Carter is doing a heck of a job there.
Okay. I'm going to go from a little bit west, kind of big country-ish there with Dillion, to east. Let's talk about Sam Wells' Troop Tigers. And it's twofold for me on Troop. One, they're experienced, right? It's a 4th year under Coach Sam Wells. He brings back 18 starters from last year's team that went 8-4 last year. They've got guys that I like. Brett Wells, the running back and linebacker, is strong. You can make an argument they're actually
probably related to the same.
Yeah, you can make an argument that they might even be a year early. A lot of their best players are juniors, guys like James Pearson, AJ Dewberry. Wells is a junior too. Here's the other thing, okay? They are there in 3A Division II Region 3, okay? 3A Division II, which was
tough neighborhood.
Won last year by a bit of a party crasher in Woodville, okay?
Who didn't win their district. They're second in district, yeah.
I think we know at this point that Region 3 of 3A Division 2 is a battle royale. I'm here to tell you, I think Troop's got the goods. And they're a team that can make a deep run. I like, in kind of looking at the questionnaire, Coach Wells believes. He thinks this team has an opportunity to be special. And especially with new coach and a bit of a reload there maybe at Woodville, I think that opens up potentially for a team like Troop. I like Troop a lot. I think that experience matters. In a region where there's not going to be a ton of teams with a ton of experience.
Sure.
Newton's probably the most experienced team in that region, right?
I would agree. Yeah, I think Newton's probably got the most experience.
But
yeah.
After that's probably Troop.
I guess them and New Diana maybe.
Yeah, New Diana too.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on Troop. I am big on the Tigers this year. Right. What's your third sleeper?
I'm going to stay in the Houston area. I'm going down to Class 4A Division 1.
If you steal, you're about to steal mine.
Fort Bend Crawford.
Dang it! Well, now I only have 4 sleepers. Let's talk about Fort Bend Crawford together.
Actually, you know what? You talk about. I got another one.
Fine. I'll talk about Fort Bend Crawford.
You talk about Fort Bend Crawford here in a second. I'm going to talk about the Paris Wildcats.
Okay.
We're going to go to East Texas.
If you guys ever wondered if we scripted this show, now you know.
Yeah. Now, 7-4A Division 1 is the toughest district in the state in Division 1. 4A Division. 7-4A Division 1 is brutal. Yes. All due respect to 9-4A Division 1, I think 7-4A is a little better.
Agreed.
You got state champs in Salina. You got Sulphur Springs. You got Aubrey. You got Lake Dallas was a 10-win team in 5A, drops to 4A, misses the playoffs. That's how good this district is. And you got Paris.
Panther Creek.
Panther Creek, yeah, sorry. Jalen Lotz is hanging out over here like, hey, dude, talk about, Panther Creek disqualified for state 7-on-7, by the way. Paris is a team, they're 5-5 last year, just missed the playoffs. Coach Hohenberger brings back 13 starters, 29 lettermen. I think Paris is poised to jump back into the playoffs. They got dynamic receivers, Keyshawn Roberts, Markel Finch, Hudson Harper, Aldrin Gill, Tyler Heath, loaded offensively. Defensively, Paris is a little young. They only bring back 5. But what do we always know about Paris? They are going to put dudes on the field. They are going to be athletic. They're going to be able to run. If Paris's defensive line can mature, I think they can get one of those playoff spots. And if they get in, they can make a run, because 7-4A Division I is a meat grinder, and every one of the. I mean, Aubrey was the 4th place team in that district last year, and got to the 3rd round. They played Salina as tough as anyone in the playoffs last year, and they were the 4th place team. So Paris, if you can get in, you can make a run, and I like the Paris Wildcats. I think this is the year. Paris will pop up every 4 or 5 years. I think they're due.
All right, and now I need you to be surprised when I say my next sleeper.
Okay.
In 4A, you know who I think's a real sleeper?
Who's that?
Fort Bend Crawford.
No.
Fort Bend Crawford. We know they're in a talent-rich part of the state, down there in Mo City. Fort Bend Crawford, last year in their inaugural varsity season, made the playoffs. And
David Jackson, that's an unbelievable coaching job.
Unbelievable. We know that we've talked about this on the show, that sometimes there are times when if a team makes the playoffs, it's much bigger, even if they go and they get wrecked in the first round of the playoffs, which I don't think Crawford did. I think they were competitive, but like even if they go in the first round of the playoffs and they lose, that experience of getting that extra week and playing in a playoff game matters. What about for an inaugural varsity program that brings back every letterman from last year?
Every single player's back. They graduated 0.
0 players. And they got dudes, man. Benji Fisher, their quarterback, is a dog. Alvin Mosley.
Mosley is a freak show.
He's unbelievable. Yeah. He's going to be like a high-level recruit if he's not already.
Yes.
This is a team that they're going to win the district.
I think this is the.
I think they're going to win district.
I was in Houston last week. We were talking about Crawford. I think Crawford's the next Iowa Colony.
Oh yeah, I think that's a great comp.
Because you think Iowa Colony, their first year in 4A missed the playoffs, and then they went 12-1 the next year in 4A. What's Crawford going to do with having a better first season than Iowa Colony did? They're going to be impressive. Now, Chargers are going to be a team to watch. Now,
look, Region 3 in 4 Division 1.
Region 3 tough.
It's a little tough. You're going to have to deal with
East Texas is
Kilgore, the aforementioned Chapel Hill, Lindale, Pine Tree. You're going to deal with a lot of good teams.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I think Fort Bend Crawford's got the goods.
They're going to be really good.
They're a dangerous team. I'm the first person to ever say that. What is your next sleeper? Penultimate.
I'm going to go in the DFW Metroplex for this one. Okay. 4A Division 2. And I'm going to talk about Chad Rogers and the Sanger Indians. Okay? Now, I want you to think about this, Tepper. Sanger, a year ago, they go 4-6. They missed the playoffs. Their 3 district losses were by a total of 4 points.
Oh, my gosh.
They lost to Cattle Mills 28-26, then Alstein 42-41, Farmersville 39-38. Those 3 losses in district. Sanger brings the house back. 35 lettermen returning. They graduated 8. Total of 8 players. They have 16 starters back, 10 on offense. Reggie Jones, their running back, 1,400 yards last year. Austin Martin's kind of a do-it-all utility player. Max Taylor, the junior linebacker, was defensive newcomer of the year last year. Sanger has the goods. Now, they got to figure out how to win close games.
But isn't that just a matter of that is a learning thing. You have to learn how to finish, and that just comes with experience.
Yeah, and they've got the experience back. 35. When I type out the capsule and I type in returning letterman RL, and R is 35 and L is 8, you catch my attention.
Yeah.
I think Chad Rogers, ball knower, won a ton of games up there at Snyder. Did good things at Denison. Got Tioga going. Now look what Zach Birdwell's doing, taking it to another level. Chad Rogers, ball knower. I think Sanger is a team to watch out for in 4A Division 2 in the DFW Metroplex.
It's a very good pick. I like that a lot. And you base that at least partially on the head coach, right? Who I think we all agree, ball knower. I would say the same thing about my next sleeper in the Panhandle. I think it's time for us to sound a sandstorm warning.
Really?
Because, buddies, Amarillo's back.
Okay.
I think Amarillo is capital B back. They bring back 15 starters from last year's team. Their coach, Chad Dunham, known ball knower. Done great things at Amarillo and before that at Dumas. This, I like I have my favorites. I've got one of my favorites already picked out.
Okay.
Jet Lopez. Their quarterback.
He's a dude.
He's unbelievable. Yeah,
he's a dude. Yeah.
He apparently broke like every major school record last year at Amarillo, where they've been playing football for a million years.
They've been playing football quite a while.
But he's got Oliver Parsons on the outside, Jude Donovan running the rock behind him, a good offensive line led by Brandon Wright. They're going to score. The defense has got to come along. They've got 7 starters back on defense, but that's kind of, to me, where the rubber meets the road for Amarillo. But I think Amarillo's back. I think they are back in a big, big way.
In that district, Monterey lost a lot, and they're going through a coaching transition. Tascosa kind of has okay. Abilene lost a lot. Now Abilene's going. I think Abilene's going to be the chief competition, but
I agree.
I think Amarillo is right there in the mix for that district championship in 2-5A Division I.
I think Amarillo is going to be really, really good. Yeah. I like them a lot there in up there in the Panhandle. All right, give me one more sleeper.
It's an oldie but a goodie, Tepper.
Don't you freaking dare!
Oh, 2A Division I?
No.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say the team who shall not be named.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the
Armadillos!
Oh! I am ready to sound the alarm on Andreas Aguirre and that beautiful head of hair that he has, the lettuce, the mullet, the moulet, as it is known in more classier circles, the moulet. The San Saba Armadillos could be in for Coach Aguirre last year kind of gave me a heads up. He goes, hey, we're going to be a little young this year, but if we can get into the playoffs, I think 2025 we got a chance to make some big noise. And I think he's right. 24 lettermen returning, 8 graduating, 8 starters back on both sides of the ball for the Dillos, 6-4 JV coming up, Luke Tharp at quarterback, a true leader, Jason Everett, linebacker, running back, Cash Bryant, Cash Money, 6'2", 165 wide receiver DB. This San Saba Armadillo, Rogan Field, the graveyard, is going to be rocking this year. I think San Saba's in for a big year. Keep an eye on those guys.
Okay.
And when San Saba's good, it just makes high school football more fun.
It does. Yeah. It's yeah, I mean, they have that run there about like 2018, 2019.
Coach Fekoch,
yeah,
and then Coach Aguirre's first year there, they and the quarterback got hurt in the semifinal. I think it was a semifinal game, or maybe a quarterfinal. But yeah, I think they're trending up. So keep an eye out, and they're in Region 4 now. When they were making their runs, they were in Region 2.
That's right, yeah.
Were you at that classic game against Celeste at Mineral Wells, or was that Max? I think it was me and Max. It was like a 2-hour rain. The game didn't start till like 9:15 because they had a 2-hour rain delay, and it went to overtime. Great football game. But yeah, San Saba, keep an eye on the Dillos. I think they're going to be back.
My final sleeper is, I think, not from a record perspective, but I think from just maybe a name recognition perspective, I think that this is maybe my deepest sleeper. I am absolutely in on the Aldi Nimitz Cougars.
Coach Cornelius Harmon is doing a great job there.
Unbelievable job there. And I think they're ready for the leap. Okay, they went 7-4 last year, which is good. And by Nimitz standards, which they've had some lean years, that's pretty good. Making the playoffs is a big deal there at Nimitz. But they bring back 9 starters on offense, including Malachi Augustus, who's a true number 1 receiver. They've got their quarterback back in Albert Brown. Their secondary, I think, is going to be excellent, which you got to have in District 14-6A. I also look at District 14-6A, and yes, there's Spring Westfield. And Spring Westfield is your district favorite until they say they are not.
They've dominated that district.
They've dominated that district.
Yeah.
I think this Nimitz team can challenge them.
I think this is the year.
I think this is the year.
They've been building. Coach Harmon's been building the last couple of years. I think they're primed to compete.
I think they're ready. I think they're ready for their close-up. And we talk, I think in Aldine ISD, it kind of all runs together. You know what I mean? I think Aldine Nimitz is ready to separate themselves and be the team of Aldine ISD. I'm really excited about this Cougars ball club. I think they've got the juice.
Yeah. Big Cornelius Harmon fan. He's done a great job there. Don't be surprised if he's 40 under 40 in the magazine. He's a candidate. I think so. He's done a heck of a job there. They were down the dumps when he took over, and he has flipped that thing. Yeah. And I agree. I think they're ready to make that next step.
So there it is. Your sleepers. It's 10 of them. I bet like 3 will hit. Yeah. Like at least.
300 hitter in baseball. That's a Hall of Fame.
Exactly right. You're going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah. That's right.